Biafra na meheranyi onuzo ke Biafra meheranyi onuzo ke Biafra Tell me what we do, everybody want to kill us. They want to take what belongs to us. Try. We they love our neighbors, so we they love ourselves too. So it is written in the holy book. You find a channel, na meheranyi biko kodo onyolu welu mono aya na meheranyi do onyolu welu mono onyo chai chukwu kikele anyị na bogi bia nyela the time is now. We want to go. Remember your promises. Oh, na me onuzo ke Biafra meheranyi onuzo ke Biafra na meheranyi onuzo ke Biafra meheranyi onuzo ke Biafra Ndiro maranyi buruburu anachi wepundu anyị n'ike shata oh they are holding our lead Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now is Prime Minister Mazi Nnamdi we shall rise and defend our land the land of rising sun is our hope Yogi bikonu sitende muziki kamehe iwele
My fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, wherever you are watching from, I welcome you to this amazing platform. Thank you for being part of this platform. May Chukwu Hukabe my guide and protect you. This is Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV, a platform where we bring information that is coming from the Biafra government, a platform that brings information directly from the United States of Biafra government, and we will not stop bringing information. In this platform, we are focused on the structure of the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. Every one of us know very well that Mazi Simon Ekpa have made a structure. And we know that in the hierarchy of the office, the COS stands in for Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister, as long as he remains alive and with us. We know that the Prime Minister is going to join us very soon. Before the Prime Minister joins us, every information will be coming from the COS of Biafra government. And whatever you see on the Biafran government Twitter handle that you're going to follow, all you have to do is to follow the COS on his platform, follow the Biafran government Twitter account, and listen. Whatever you hear from there is the right way to go. Do not be disturbed. Do not be discouraged. In today's program, I want to expose one of the fraudulent system of Nigeria. One of the grievances why the Biafran people are leaving the zoo. We are not just living because we are angry or because of any sentiment. It is because the system has been programmed to fail, and everybody from bottom to top are all involved in the corruption and the destruction of humanity. That is why Nigeria has ended and Biafra declared. We must continue to protect Biafra, the United States of Biafra. Watch this video from beginning to end and you will understand the deep failure of the Zoological Republic. Watch.
Glad to have you back. And if you are just joining us, this is POV, that is Political Voice on Voice of the People Television. Now to the first major topic of discussion. Anambra State Governor, Professor Soludo, has stated that freeing Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, will not resolve the worsening insecurity in the southeast region. Speaking during a press briefing at the Governor's Lodge in Amobia, Soludo argued that the original Biafran agitation had been hijacked by criminal elements exploiting Kanu's name to perpetrate organized crimes, including kidnapping and armed robbery. Soludo stressed that the insecurity in the region has grown beyond Kanu's influence, as many criminals no longer heed his directives. While acknowledging IPOB's repeated disassociation from the violent groups, he said the current wave of crime has nothing to do with any joining liberation movement. Now, the governor further revealed that over 99% of criminals arrested in Anambra in the past 2 years were Igbo, with a significant number being non-indigenous of the state. Oh, well, I had announced the presence of Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi, who is a political analyst in the studio. Mr. Muyiwa, good to have you on the show.
Yeah, good evening once again.
Okay, I'm also informed that Mr. Isiaka Badamosi, the virtual guest, has joined us. Good evening, Mr. Badamosi.
Good evening, Joguma. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
So good to have you. Very well. So good to have you on this show. And thanks for coming. Now, let me even start with you. The issue of the insecurity in the southeast is on the front burner again. We have the governor of Anambra State, Soludo, say that, look, freeing Nnamdi Kanu will not necessarily thaw the tension. It's not going to bring about the end of the insecurity in the southeast because, according to him, criminal elements have hijacked the agitation, the liberation movement. Now, a lot of people had also said this thing before. Do you agree with Soludo? And is that even the reason why Nnamdi Kanu has not been released by the federal government? What's your take on Soludo's assertion?
Okay, thank you very much, Chukuma. You see, the thing is this. I think it's a good thing we have somebody who is coming out, and in the person of a governor of a state, coming out to say it as it is. Some of us have been saying it for quite some time now, but most people are not paying attention, or maybe they are being sentimental about the situation. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu would not significantly change the dynamics of what is on ground right now. Just like the governor said, the whole agitation has been hijacked by criminal elements, and they are operating and they're having a field day. And for them to relinquish or to forgo all of this this crime they've been into all the while will be a very difficult challenge. Even though I think his release might ignite one or two maybe reconciliatory moves, but in terms of solving what we call the insecurity situation and then the criminal element, I don't think it will be the case. Because besides even the criminal element, you have people even within the political circle who are benefiting from the incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu. And for them, they are better off without him being around, because some of them might even think that his presence might overshadow their political ambition and political presence within the southeast. So all of these are dynamics that are intertwined and are playing out within the southeastern part of Nigeria as it is now.
All right. Thanks very much, Mr. Badamosi. Does what Soludo said, does it lend credence to the fact that, like you said, is there a possibility, that some people are the ones? Is it possible, I want to say, is it possible that the federal government, the president in particular, will listen to such statements by people like Soludo and then continuously keep Nnamdi Kanu in detention, bearing in mind that, look, even letting this young man go might not even douse the tension in the southeast.
You see, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria might not have the kind of power we are arrogating to him, in the sense that there are judicial processes that are ongoing right now, and those judicial processes has to be determined within the courts. Okay, but let's assume that maybe the case is withdrawn, the federal government decided to withdraw the case and all of that, and he is released. The president will be looking out for a kind of
Hello, Mr. Baramosi. Okay, I think there's a
much more peaceful and calm southeast with the release of. If that does not happen, if it does not see a change in the security situation, what is after the release of Nnamdi Kanu, then it means, or the government of the day, in terms of what they have asked him to do. And I think for me, Nnamdi Kanu deserves to be let go of, because as it is right now, the government has not been able to prosecute this case for quite a while, and I think it is not an appropriate thing to keep him perpetually if the government is found wanting in prosecuting his case properly. So the young man is entitled to his life, if not even for the southeast agitation and the Biafra agitation. He should be given his life back and let him go on with his life.
All right, Mr. Baramosi, I like the fact that you talked about the judicial process and political solution. It's a bit curious that you say that, look, the president doesn't have the kind of power that we arrogate to him, talking about releasing Nnamdi Kanu by fiat. We have, how many months, 2 months ago, I mean, we saw the president order the Attorney General of the Federation to let go people who were charged with treasonable felony. We have also seen it happen in the case of the Miala president. You know, the president of the Miala cattle herders, the president by fiat said, let this person go. It happened in the case of Sunday Iboho. It happened in the case of Omoyele Sowore. So why is it a big difficult for the same president, the same government to do the same thing for Nnamdi Kanu? Does it look like some form of political persecution, not just for the person of Nnamdi Kanu, but for the Southeast?
You see, when you say we've seen it in these cases you've mentioned, there were judicial processes that such cases went through.
If you talk about judicial processes, a court of competent jurisdiction also asked the federal government, let this young man go. He doesn't have any case to answer. The federal government turned around to prefer more charges against him. What does it look like? Mr. Baramosi,
but you must also remember, Chukuma, that 2 cases. Okay, sorry, I didn't get what you said. What you said last?
No, I said, what does it look like?
Hello, I didn't get the last thing you said.
No, the last thing I said is that.
Well, for me, I think you see.
Go ahead.
Okay, you see, what I'm saying is that the issue that has to do with Nnamdi Kanu is fairly a peculiar issue. For me, I think there are people who are behind the scene playing a lot of drums and a lot of dynamics. I told you earlier that there are elements within the Southwest, criminal elements that have hijacked the movement. I told you also that there are political actors within the Southwest who does not want this young man to be released. And some of these people are playing all of these cards all over the place. And there are people also who are singing the song of, let's please release this man so we can have peace in the Southeast, okay. Which also the governor has told will necessarily translate to peace and tranquility in the Southeast. That is a fact. There are too many interests already at play. Now, comparing it with all of the ones you have cited, there were processes that were gone into. There were judicial processes that were gone into. It wasn't just a case of the president say, release these people and it happened. You must go to the court, either withdraw the case, and then the judge has to struck it out, and then maybe the government say, I'm no longer prosecuting this cause anymore, then for that to happen. Now, if that happens, it has gone through a judicial process, which is the normal process to be gone through. It's not for the president to say, go ahead and release him. It doesn't work like that. Okay. And besides that fact, I said there are people who are pushing to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu is kept perpetually in detention.
All right. All right, thank you, Mr. Baramosi. Let's come back. Please do stay with us as I bring it back to the studio. Mr. Adeyemi, you have heard my intro. I mean, Charles Soludo, governor of Anambra State, says releasing Nnamdi Kanu necessarily doesn't mean that there will be peace in the southeast. What's your reaction?
Well, I think as far as I'm concerned, such a statement from the governor of Anambra State at this moment is unfortunate and it's uncalled for. It's political. And perhaps if he's speaking, if release of Kanu will threaten his re-election next year, he will have put it in a different dimension. Because what everybody wanted, apart from people in the southeast, what every free thinker, any political analyst, any social crusader, right, or freedom fighter is looking for is to convince the federal government to see the necessity why Kanu must be released. You understand? I think it is a prison of conscience to many people. And what anybody would have loved the governor of that state to say this time around is that, well, if you release Kanu, it will reduce tension. If you release Kanu, all these criminal elements will not have opportunity of having, you understand, to continue to perpetrate their evil acts. Right, you know, because Kanu is incarcerated. So that's where we were able to having people like, I think, content creator, EPA, right, I think coming to the board. And those guys that I think supposed hide under him, where they won't be alleged that I think have increased the tempo of insecurity in that region. So now they've arrested EPA, right? Those guys occasionally, as it is now, they might some of them be uncoordinated because we're hiding under that figure. If Kanu could come out now, right, and I say, okay, my people, suspend this sit at home every Monday. You understand? We want to engage dialogue in our process. So meaning that once, I think, nobody again who, in the name of fighting for Biafra, taking up arms, killing soldiers, stopping marketers, destroying the economy of that region, meaning that whoever trying to do that will be treated like a criminal, not only by the government, not only by the state actors, even by the people. Because the man in front of this decision has said, well, we are embarking on dialogue now, right? Let everything decision come into suspension. We want to dialogue, which he has been saying while in prison now, right? So, but for the governor to come out to say, even if you release him, right, at least the insecurity will continue. Then why would the federal government or Tinubu government will now see the necessity to release him?
Exactly my point. If we have a state governor who has identified,
election is coming. We are discussing politics here, right?
Yes.
Election is coming, and each politician will now begin to see issues. You understand? We don't know if Soludo has appointed Kanu in several ways, and I'll be afraid that release this man now, he will control, or may have the control on the voters. That whatever he wanted the vote to swing, right, might go that way. No, but I think I'm not expecting any
Mr. Day,
governor
I'll come to
say that now.
I'll come to that point shortly. Now, my concern is if we have a governor coming out to say, look, the liberation movement has been hijacked by criminal elements. Now, what does this speak? Does it speak to the complicity of the state? If the state, with all its power, enormous power, information, cannot use intelligence to fish out these perpetrators, and the governor comes out to tell us that, look, this thing has been hijacked.
You know what? I think I'm not disputing that one with him. Right? Let's have a clear course.
No, my question
right.
is,
does
it look like the government, is complicit?
No. The government will not be complicit. You understand? I'm saying that, when we had crisis, you understand, the leadership, you understand, the command structure of Ipob, I think has been fractionalized. Right? ECPA claiming to be in charge until his arrest, and a lot of group were in support of Kanu. You understand? So we are getting counter orders. Right? While a group drumming peace, right? Some were being confrontational. And with some kind of reports we have been able to gather or get from that axis, a lot of people that have been arrested for committing crime belong to the other group, supposedly being led by EPA, right? And then I was saying that it has been hijacked. Because if Kanu was saying that, okay, suspend this Monday sit at home, and some group is still saying, you must continue to have it. Who is that in control?
Mr. Adeyemi, I understand your
And
point. Look at my question.
okay,
My question is this. The governor, who is the chief security officer of the state, has identified that, look, IPOB might not be involved in the killings, in the insecurity, clearly because the agitation has been hijacked by criminal elements. And now I am asking, with all the powers, security vote, military, intelligence, DSS, the state government is not able to get to the root of the insecurity and take it out. Does it look like either the state or the federal government is complicit, is involved in the insecurity in the southeast?
no, I think that would be a very serious allegation.
Okay.
Right, and that,
Because the governor has information.
I'm going, no, like saying now that, well, because we have this Ukarawa matter in the northeast, or you have Boko Haram in the in the northwest, right? Yeah. You have a Boko Haram crisis in the northeast. You understand? Which has been taking almost 3 governments now to resolve, right? Starting from Jonathan to Yaradua, coming to Buhari now. So can we say that they were complicit in resolving Boko Haram completely? Do you understand what I'm saying? We are not saying that maybe you don't have 1 or 2 bad eggs in the security, but to say government is complicit in such, I think it will be a very weighty allegation that will be very difficult for anybody to prove. But by and large, we know that certain criminals, you understand?
Because criminals, are they in government? Do you think that they are in government?
No, you know
because we have also, if you talk about Boko Haram, we have also seen our military, ambushed by Boko Haram.
You know, I'm coming. There's no. We have enough evidence, right? I think even before the military that Boko Haram, I think, has been able to hijack certain. I think the structure, maybe.
Recall that former President Goodluck Jonathan said that we have Boko Haram members in my government.
He said so. Nobody's visited that one. But that does not that government is complicit.
Okay.
So it's not the same thing, right? If we have 1 or 2 people that are sold out, right? If we have some more people, 1 or 2 people, they're criminals. So if we have, let's say, in the police force now, right? We have 1 or 2 people, you understand, that are compromised. We now say the entire structure has been compromised, right? So I think we are going to convince the kind of a fallacy of composition, which is wrong. Do you understand? But what I'm saying is that it's true with a number of people they have been arrested. Do you understand? To say some criminal elements have hijacked that movement. Do you understand? But if they have been hijacked, release Kanu. Do you understand? Kanu knows those who are genuinely working with him, right? Kanu knows his structure.